but like one of them probably didn't want to.
We're told that a manufacturing company owns a major piece of equipment that depreciates at the continuous rate f, which is a function of t, where t is the time measured in months since its last overhaul.
Bill Gates is gay.
We're told that a fixed cost A is incurred each time the machine is overhauled, and the company wants to determine the optimal time, big T, in months between overhauls. In part A, we're asked to explain why the integral from 0 to little t of f of s ds represents the loss in value of the machine over the period of time t since the last overhaul.
I love this. From a child.
Well, we'll let big F of t be the value of the equipment
Yeah, dude.
3 to tango.
at
Yeah, so
time
the reason Matthew brought
little t.
So it's Matthew.
We know from what we were given the rate of
But it would have been Matthew
depreciation,
Broderick if this was happening in the 80s.
little f of t.
To be clear.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I rewatched this within the last 6 years, and now it's all coming back.
Yes.
And it's all coming
Because the derivative is the rate of change of the function, it follows that the derivative of big F of t is equal to little f of t. Taking the integral of both sides and applying the fundamental theorem of calculus, it therefore follows that big F of t is equal to the integral from 0 to t of little f of s ds.
No, that's a normal thing. You gotta get a gay guy to watch your girlfriend.
Yeah.
This tells us that the integral gives us the total loss of value at time little t.
That would make more sense.
You fuck grown men, right? No boys or girls.
I need you to watch my child.
I need you to watch my girlfriend.
Then in part
Bill
B,
Gates, I want to make sure you don't fuck my girlfriend. Who's a child.
we're told that c, which is a function of t, is given by the equation c of t equals 1 over t times a plus the integral from
What happens
0
at the
to
end,
t
dude? Tell everybody.
of little f of s ds.
I don't know. They start dating, and then it's like someone else.
We're asked what c represents and why the company would want to minimize c.
He's gay, he has to suck a guy's
I
cock
don't know.
in
She
front
tries
of
to
him.
set him up with like her gay friend who is like falls in love.
Well, from
with
part
her.
A, we already know that this integral
funny.
represents the total depreciation in the value of the machine since the last overhaul.
Yeah,
We're also told that A is the cost incurred each time the
Back in
machine is
day,
overhauled.
Fools Rushing.
When we add the two, we get the total cost related to the maintenance of the machine.
It was his art.
So this
He was like,
expression
Dad,
is
the
the total
graphics
cost.
are different. I need it for both systems.
Well, I'm gonna have to go have gay sex to earn enough
Therefore,
money to buy it.
the function c of t is the total cost over the time since the last overhaul.
Oh, geez, I don't like doing it, but it's just video games.
Just you go into Adam's room, it's every system ever made. Japanese imports, a full like arcade is in their house. Anything for my boy.
If you don't overhaul the machine, it costs the company in terms of the depreciation of the machine. So if you overhaul, there's also a
My
fixed
dad,
cost
dude, we
related
had
to
a
it.
Pac-Man machine, and my
So-
dad was the first time
Like a full machine?
Yes, my dad
Wow.
like
the tabletop one, or
no, the full like arcade one.
Minimizing
I don't know. My dad like
c of t
in some bar, and they just gave it to him. And it was the first time like his children were like, "Oh my god, this rules! This is the best thing that's ever happened." My dad just gave it to one of his friends.
Wait a minute.
means that the company
Your dad redid some bar, and as payment, they gave him a
I think that was part of
spends
it.
less.
My dad is a horrible
I
businessman.
know. I was about to
That's
say,
so
it's
funny.
like, oh yeah, no wonder he's poor.
Yeah, dude. No, he would get
Overall.
fleeced constantly.
Yeah.
One time he finished a whole job. He finished like these windows, and
In the
it was like
maintenance of
some
the
kind of special
machine.
weatherproofing wood that was like thinner than it usually looks. And the guy was like,
If it spends less,
I don't
this
like
means
it.
that
Can you just do it all over again
company
with different wood? And my dad should have been like, no, this is one
increases
Yeah,
its
yeah.
profits.
But he just redid it. He just complained.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember that was because I was working with him that
which
summer, and I was
is
like,
the
oh wait,
goal
my dad's
of a
a fucking
company
accountant.
generally,
Yeah.
Like,
is to
that was like
make
13,
as much
I was like,
profit
and
as
by the way, the
possible.
guy who made him redo it was just some fucking pussy, like Greek fucking.
Finally, in part C,
Why would-
we're asked to
it
show
was
that
a
C
Neil's
has a
fucking-
minimum value at the numbers little t equals big T,
Implements
where
art.
C of big T
I
is
just watched
little
this
f
movie,
of big T.
this Hitchcock movie called Marnie.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. I would love Pac-Man machine.
Wait, listen, but he's an amateur zoologist.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And he was
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
I wasn't trying to cut you off by saying I haven't seen Pokemon.
Well, at the time, big T,
Shut the fuck up, Nick. You're so sensitive, bro.
I'm sick for starters. Second of all, I would like to be gay.
I want to hear what Adam has to say about Morny, please. Please
Thank
stop
you,
cutting my
Sabra.
friend
Well,
Adam off. Nick.
if we
Thank
want to
Even though
find
he is gay.
the minimum
I
value of
wish I was
C,
gay.
No,
We
he wishes
established
he was
that.
gay.
we'll want to take a
It's not that I
derivative
am gay. it's
Yeah.
and
that
set
I
it equal to
aspire
0 to
be
find the
gay.
critical numbers.
What happens in Morny?
From part B,
So
we
he's
already
like,
determined that big
he's not
C
the
was
dog,
the
right?
average
No, Sean
expenditure
Connery's a businessman,
per month.
but
Oh,
his
Sean
his
Conn?
passion is
Is he bald?
no.
We
he's
also
not hair.
determined the
It's like
company
James
wants to
Bond
minimize
era,
C of
level.
T.
Well, he was bald during James Bond.
So let's take the derivative of
Yeah,
C of
that's
T.
sick.
C prime of T,
Don't
No.
don't you dare say that on
using the product rule,
That would be
this
so
is the
awesome.
derivative
Dude,
of
every
1 over
time.
T,
And I was the only
which
one that
is
knew.
negative
I
1
didn't even
over
know.
T squared
head of hair.
times
make
that
me so
integral,
You should get
well,
Ralph
expression
Cifaretto.
A
I'm really
plus
about
the
it.
integral
Dude,
from 0
honestly,
to
if I
little
get a
t
when I get a
It's a
tooth,
fucking
of
horse, Tom.
f of s
when I get a tooth, I'm
ds
also gonna get a fucking toupee.
plus 1 over
What the-
t
what-
times
I'll
the derivative of the second factor.
Get the shit
A is a
red hair.
constant, so its derivative is simply 0.
It's a red
And by the
Volvo.
fundamental theorem of calculus, the
That was
derivative
the best part
of
of that. When his fucking
this
what
integral
a great
is
word.
simply
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like,
f of
what,
t.
you knew?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I do.
I thought
Now
the
let's
best part
factor out
of
a 1
jazz
over
was
t.
fucking ass.
We can write this as 1 over t times
And she's holding it. That's right.
negative 1
No,
over
yeah, she wasn't
t
fucking with it.
I'm gonna put
times
you out on the
a
street.
plus the integral from 0
Tell
to
me
t
you
of
little
f of
boy.
s
You little whore.
My little whore.
plus
Can you
f of
imagine
Believe
t.
it, you want to put a fucking dildo in my ass.
And as we said before,
So what happens in
we want to find when
Oh,
this
yeah.
expression is equal to
So
0.
he's like a businessman, and then like this chick starts working for him, and he like knows. She, like,
1 over
runs
t can never be equal to
a
0.
bunch of scams
This
and
implies that
stealing
the
from
other
different
factor
businesses. You change your
must
hair
be
color
equal to
to
0.
her name, so no one can catch her.
So
Anyway,
it
so
follows
he,
that
like, she steals from his safe, and then he entraps her and makes her get married to him.
negative
And he
1 over
uses his
t
skills as
times
zoology
a
to
plus
tame
the
a
integral
bitch.
from 0 to t of f of
Really?
s
He treats her like an animal.
He's like
plus
reading
f of
books,
t
like called, she's like
equals
zoology.
0.
Does that mean you
Actually, this is f of s
understand human
ds.
nature as well? He's like, well, one could say that I do. You know, he's reading books about like the female criminal mind and stuff.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
It's so sick. It's actually a really good movie, but
In fact, this looks
It's
very
incredible.
similar, part of this, to the equation for c of
Yeah,
t.
that women were still considered animals in
Well.
1965 or whatever.
Yeah, Sean Connery talks about how you should be.
So I'll solve for f of t. We get f of
What a
t
legend.
equals 1 over t times a plus the integral from 0 to t
Last time we
of
spoke, you
f
said
of
you
s
raped a child.
ds,
Yeah, sure.
which this is the same
It's
as c of t.
having sex with children is something that Bill loves.
I wasn't gay. Like
Take it back. You're
gay.
hurting Hillary. You're not allowed to say that ever. You see Elizabeth Warren saying, somebody asked her about like getting rid of ICE, and she's like, "We absolutely need
Need
ICE."
them,
I cannot believe how
What a
quick. Like
dumbass
it's
bitch.
so early for that bitch
Now,
to go
we
that
see
far.
that
She's
c
mad
prime of
butted
t
to
equals
just
0
yes,
only at
and
a
I mean
specific
that,
time t.
You know,
We'll
Literally
call
just-
this time
Well, you don't know if his
big
ass
T.
is gay. It might be his dick.
dick in his mouth, probably, at least.
I don't
Anyway,
think he's
He's
And
fake gay,
therefore,
bro.
I don't think he's real. at
it
all.
follows
Like,
that
dude,
C
I've never seen
has
more of like
a minimum
clearly
value.
CIA employee.
Oh yeah. I want to see him and Chasten fuck.
Nothing.
I
There
do
is
too.
not. He's fucking American Psycho. Dude.
he
Oh, for
truly
sure.
is.
He went to the troops for the clout, dude.
at the number
Everything.
t
He's
equals
gay for
big
the clout.
T,
He's
He's gay for the
absolutely
clout.
gay for the
That's a perfect
by
example.
definition, since big T was the optimal time
basically,
between
that bitch is
overhauls,
mad that Buttigieg is just now sucking off every
where,
billionaire for money. And
as we
she's like,
saw
"Oh,
by solving our
I want to be a
differential equation,
Well, she was like the
f
master
of big
leader.
T
She did this
equals
addition.
c of big
If
T.
you work hard, you should be able to spend the money on toys. When I grew up in the teepee, we only
In
had
other words,
a
our
boomerang."
cost,
we had a boomerang.
our monthly cost had a minimum value
And say, there goes low cheekbone.
where the
Liz.
monthly cost is
She's
equal
got them
to
dick sucking cheekbones.
the
And
rate of
like
depreciation.
Liz, what do you say, Liz?
Anyway, time for some maize. Just pulls out a whole ear of